Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lift as You Rise Emotional Intelligence Show, a show where we help you grow through what you go through. Welcome to the Lift as You Rise Emotional Intelligence Show, a show where we help you grow through what we go through. This week, we've got amazing, inspirational people, the founders of the Tiribhoo clothing label. So, I'm going to get you to introduce yourselves. Who is Tiribhoo?
Do you want to answer it?
Sorry, you can go ahead.
So Tiribhoo is a clothing line that me and Ashley began during lockdown. It's a clothing line that we just basically want to encourage people to be positive, no matter what you're going through. Obviously, with the pandemic, it's been very difficult. So Tiribhoo, obviously, the mother tongue that we speak, which is Shona, Tiribhoo means we're good, we're blessed. And then the brand is also we move to incorporate all other cultures. So we move is also the same concept as Tiribhoo, like, we keep it moving, we move no matter what, we move. And so that's essentially the background behind the clothing and the meaning.
And of course, there's also a meaning, of course, like regardless whatever that you are going through,
Yes.
like through life, like you're okay. Do you know what I mean? And of course, because I think in life we can get stuck on different situations that happen,
Yes.
on things that happen in life.
Yes.
And we can get stuck on the actual issue, but we then forget what we've actually done for us to be even where we are. People are at different stages.
Wow, that's excellent. What I like about the idea behind Tiribhoo is, number one, you've got that universal language.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the English version, and you've got the Shona version,
version,
which
yeah.
is Tiribhoo, and we move.
Mm-hmm.
And how it resonates with this show
Mm-hmm.
is when we say emotional intelligence, we're talking about how you manage yourself
Mm-hmm.
despite how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, Ashley, lockdown has been a very difficult chapter in almost everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of negativity going on.
Yes.
But the fact that you managed to birth this lovely baby, this clothing label,
Yes.
that's actually a very good example of growing through what you go through, in that sense of gratitude towards what life can give amidst any difficulties you may
Yes.
face.
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting. I really like that.
Thank you.
Moving on, we're going to be talking about relationships today.
Yes.
I really love this topic
Yeah.
because what amazes me, what made me pick you to come for my interview, is because you're a couple who are in business.
Mm-hmm.
So this show is going to be okay because we're going to be learning together about the love languages. Do you know anything about love languages?
Obviously, I kind of know the meaning of love language. Obviously, if someone says, "What's your love language?" they mean like, what things do you like to be done that make you feel loved?
Yes.
So that's what I understand it to be, but I don't actually know what the love languages are.
Okay.
Obviously, there's affection and presence, but I don't actually know what they are or how they're categorized. But I understand what the term a love language means.
Yes, what I really like about your answer is the fact that you know it's a language and you actually identified one of them, and you're very right. Absolutely, it is a language, just like French and English. If you want to communicate with someone, say in a couple or in a relationship, if you marry someone who doesn't speak your language, there is no way you're going to communicate with that person if you don't make an effort.
Yes.
So just like languages, love has its own sets of dialects and languages. And the good thing about knowing the love languages is it tells you how to love your partner, and it also shows your partner, or it shows how your partner prefers to be loved. So it's actually good. So many relationships are dying. So many marriages are dying because the couples don't know each other's love languages. Now, what we're going to do, we'll go through a series of questions.
Okay.
Guess what? As you're telling me the answers, you will be showing us what your love languages are.
Okay.
This is not an interview where it's just me asking questions. Feel free to ask me questions because I'm also in a relationship.
Okay.
So I want us to learn from each other.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my first question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What made you fall in love?
With each other.
Yes.
What made me fall in love with Ashley was how caring he was, and how compassionate he was, and how hardworking he was, and how family orientated he was. Obviously, when I met him, I also met his sisters quite soon after, and they were so lovely to me. And just the whole family and the connection that they have to me was like something that was really beautiful. And seeing him having that relationship with his sisters and his mom and his dad and everybody, because sometimes, you know, guys, you know, when they meet you, they don't, first of all, they don't like to introduce you to their family, but then
Yes.
secondly, they actually don't have that relationship with their family.
Yes.
So it's like you can fall in love with somebody and have like a really good time as you and them, but then when it comes to the area of family, it's like, oh, you know, I don't talk to my mom, or yeah, I see my sister every now and again.
Yes.
But with Ashley, it was like, even when we were still dating at the first stages, he was very like, you know, speaks to his sisters, calls his mom, calls his dad, like, and that was something for me that was like, yeah, it was beautiful to see, because you know that, yeah,
Yes.
when you want somebody who has that closeness with their family, because I come from a big family, so I don't want to have somebody that doesn't believe in family or is quite anti-family.
Yes.
And also his good looks.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. When you say caring,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean by that? What sort of things does he do which shows that he's a caring person?
Everything. He always asks, "Are you okay?" all the time. Like,
Yes.
"Baby, you okay? You okay? You okay?" Even if like I'm just quiet for a period of time, he'll be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm okay." So he's always checking up, and he'll never let me like be quiet for any long period of time, or just be like my head going off in the clouds without asking like, "Are you okay?" So he's always carrying on that part. Obviously always asks to be eaten. Do you want a drink? Do you want anything? All the time. Are you okay? Is work okay? Do you need anything? So yeah, in that sense, he's always asking like and checking up on me and checking that I'm okay.
Oh, that's beautiful. What about Ashley? What made you fall in love with Sheila?
No, for me it was. I think, you know, I've always wanted someone that listens, just like, you know, that actually listens to what I'm saying, even if they don't even understand what I'm saying, but you know, they being able for me to express myself for just who I am, and without no sugarcoat or trying to be something that I'm not.
Yes.
And you know, if you know, it's so, and it was also somebody that's very caring and always
Yes.
willing. There's always willing to where like willing just to help in any way and any means. There's no such thing as limit.
Yes.
And someone that's also family like oriented.
Yes.
I can't say that right.
That's all right. We also.
But yeah, so, and the fact that we're from back home as well,
Yes.
from Zim, so it makes things easy. And with how she basically like grew up here as well, but still
Yes.
Zim, innit? So you know, of course, we have our difference too. Of course, like,
Yes, of course. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Of course,
Yes.
what's now one can read the Shona, and then after one can hear the other more than the other.
Yes.
So it then works through that. Then that it just makes it 100 within that side.
Yes.
And someone that loves to travel,
yes.
and also hard working, and you know, and he likes the nice things of life, and also being independent, being able to just be. She does not want anything. She just wants my love.
Yes.
And sometimes of course,
yes.
we'll get to that question sometime, innit?
Yes.
But no, it's mainly someone that just loves me for who I am, and for me, this is something that's big. You know, it's once that one is covered for me, that's that like
everything else is
that was a win for me, and the fact that, you know, she holds herself well. She's a beautiful woman, and you know, she does not ask for much. She's just herself, and you shouldn't compare relationships. But
yes.
then when I then look at mine, I think
sometimes it's like Google, isn't it?
It's like
As in
Google,
when you
yeah,
Google,
I mean,
it triggers.
it like triggers other things.
Yes.
But I don't see what other people see within
yes.
the houses within mine. It's not to say that we're 100% perfect, but you know, it's just one of those things. And I just appreciate her for just understanding me, being there for me, caring, and like very supportive, and that's in any idea. Even if I say that, right, babe, I want to start selling boxes today. She, she's the type of person. She start to look. Where can you get the boxes?
Oh,
Where do you need for us to get the boxes? How much a
that's
box?
so sweet.
So it doesn't really matter what it is, and of course,
Yes, you
Yeah.
did mention that you come from the same country.
Uh-huh.
Where are you from?
Zimbabwe.
Oh, Zimbabwe. So you're from Zimbabwe
Yeah, I'm
as
from
well.
Zimbabwe as well. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
But I think like what Ashley said is that I came here when I was 3.
Oh.
So yeah, I've been here like obviously over 25 years, and then obviously he came when he was 9. So we
Okay.
both had that English upbringing, and
Yes.
for me, it might sound judgmental, but for me, when I was thinking of who my ideal husband would be, I didn't want what we call a freshie. I didn't want
Yeah.
somebody that was like
What's
from
a fresh? Sorry, if you don't mind me asking.
somebody from Zimbabwe, but there's
From
but
Chicken.
but they're still very on the Zimbabwean side, because I didn't want to come across like I'm too British. It's not intentional, but obviously I've grown up here, so there's
Yes.
certain things like even speaking Shona. I started learning at an adult age how to speak Shona, so I didn't
Yes.
want somebody that didn't understand that side of me and maybe thought that oh Musaladi or whatever kind of thing. I didn't want people to
Yes.
think of me like that. So meeting somebody who was also Zimbabwean but had grown up here, it's like together, like what he said, I can read Shona pretty fluently, but I can't speak it. Whereas he can speak it pretty fluently, but he can't read it. So we bounce off each other in that sense. And we both come from respectable families, and we both come from big families, but we also have our British side, which we enjoy together. And, the
Yes.
music and all the stuff we grew up on is something that we both commonly understand. And we can talk about anything to do with, when I was a kid, and we both understand. So that's kind of like what also attracted us, because we kind of had the same way of growing up in terms of where we come from, but how we then adapted to this country.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. What I like, remember, we did say we're talking about love languages. Do you know, you've already told me 3 of them so far. And what's interesting is from the 3, it's for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to tell you now, or do you want me to continue asking questions?
Oh,
There's 5 of them.
It's like a 50-50, isn't it?
Yes.
continue asking questions.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
see. Let's see if we touch on them.
You've already answered some of it, so
Mm.
try to avoid repeating
Repeating.
the same thing.
Okay.
But what do you enjoy doing together? As in, what is the most important thing in your relationship, or what do you enjoy doing? So choose to answer whether the first one or the second one.
I think, like what Ashley said, we enjoy traveling. Obviously, it's been lockdown, so we've not been able to actually travel anywhere together abroad. But one thing I like is that obviously when we first started dating, I as a woman, sometimes you're kind of reserved when you meet a guy. You don't really
Yes.
know like where they are at or what they want to do. But
Yes.
like within like the first month of us dating, I remember we was just like talking generally. And then he was like, "Oh, let's go away on this weekend on the 16th of October." And I was like,
You're
"Oh,
like,
what? Where are we going?" And then and obviously it was lockdown. There's not many places to go, but
Yes.
we researched and whatever. And then we went to
Boston.
went to Boston and Skegness.
Oh.
That was like where we went away for our first weekend. And ever since then, like any bank holiday that's come since we've been in
Yes.
lockdown, we just go somewhere. So we've been to Boston, we've been to Manchester, we've been to London. And
Oh,
yeah,
right.
that's all during
Traveling
lockdown.
together.
Literally, just
Yeah.
going into hotels and just chilling and
Yes.
seeing what's on the site around, and then going back home.
Yes. Apart from what Sheila has just mentioned, what else do you enjoy in the relationship? As in, what makes you happy in the relationship?
What makes me happy?
Apart from traveling, yeah.
Apart from traveling, to be honest, I think it's getting up every day in the morning and just having someone that cares for you, someone that you can just be yourself.
Around.
I mean, someone you don't need to explain too much to for them to understand
Yes.
how you're feeling on that day,
Yes.
what you're going through, or what they'll catch on whether it's level 7 or level 8,
All right.
and you are even thinking like, how did they get that?
Yes.
And it just bounces off. So I find that there's a lot of vibing that goes on.
Yeah.
So we're like, sometimes even when she doesn't say something, it's bouncing off in my head. It's weird. I don't know how certain things happen, but I could be thinking of, it can be something as simple as I could be planning for me to get up and like make up breakfast or something.
Yes.
more time, maybe when she got up in the middle of the night, maybe she went to the toilet and taken something out.
Yes.
An example, not say that example, but in terms of how brains bounce
Yeah,
off.
we sync a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things
There's
that
a lot of
we're like,
syncing.
oh yeah, I thought of that, and he would have already have done it, or I was gonna do it, and he's already done
Because
it.
guess what? You've actually revealed yet another love language. One of the times, that time I did say you told me 3 of them.
Yes.
You've just tapped onto the 4th one. Well done.
Wow.
Anyway, what's your idea of quality time? Is it just going on a holiday together? What is your idea of that?
We like cooking a lot as well. That's one thing that we do a lot. Yeah.
So what is it that makes it quality time?
Because like at first it used to be like Ashley would cook for me, or I would cook for him if I go and visit him or whatever, and then we started getting into, oh, let me help you cook. So then we'd get in the kitchen together and I'd help him cook whatever dish he's making, and he'd then help me cook whatever dish I'm making, and then we just started kind of like learning each other's recipes, because he's got a totally different way of cooking to me.
Yes.
I don't eat spicy food and he likes spicy food. So we kind of started learning how to incorporate each other's preferences into meals. So that was like a good thing that we do, and we look up recipes, and you know, we try different things. I was used to cooking, you know, rice and beef and, you know, the standard, you know,
like that
at home. But then Ashley comes and he's like, you know, we're gonna have this funky pasta with chicken, mushroom, spinach, and all of this stuff. So yeah, so I think cooking is definitely something that we do a lot together, and we learn, and we enjoy off it, and we learn and sit down and we do the shopping list together to say, okay, this week what do we want to get?
Oh, that's interesting. How would you feel if your partner forgot your birthday?
It's a bit impossible for us because we're born 2 days apart, so we can't forget each other's birthdays.
Okay, but if that was to happen, how would you feel? Would that affect you?
I think that would affect me because I mean, you know, when you go on a date, the first few dates or you getting to know someone, these are one of those things that, you know, you ask for you to, I don't know, it's just good to know, and it's just one of those things. So for someone to then forget one of the, I mean, the first conversation that you have with your partner, well, you won't really know that it's your partner, but if that then becomes your partner.
Yes.
One of the first, that's the most critical time for you to listen and write down within your head. How did you forget the birthday? If I'm asking you, so you can't say I had a lot going on. Or I had a lot, or that was stressing me out. If I'm checking on you, if I check on you most of the time, so how can you then forget the most, you know, like important thing? That's like forgetting an anniversary.
Yes.
But
Yes,
of course,
absolutely.
and
Yes.
an anniversary.
What about Sheila?
He's nudging me because I have forgotten our anniversary a few times. But I don't know if that counts, because obviously, like, we've been celebrating our anniversary every month up until we get to a year. So obviously, on the 12th, I do sometimes forget on the 12th of some months that it's our anniversary. And then he remembers and he'll do something nice and whatever. And then I then repay it back after I've forgotten. But no, 100%, no, I agree with him. Something like a birthday, like, you can't forget someone's birthday. It's entrenched in your mind when their birthday is. Like the whole year you'll be planning. Even now I'm planning for Ashley's birthday because it's his big birthday this year. So in my head I'm planning. So it's a bit difficult like how you'd forget. I mean, maybe ask us the question when we're like 60 years into marriage. I don't know, maybe things change, but at a certain stage in a relationship you can't be forgetting birthdays.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I mean, it's not that deep, but you know, it's just, you know, it can make someone feel.
Yeah, it's not gonna make them feel very special.
It's not.
You get the day they were born.
It's not as deep, because it's just something that's just critical for anyone to just remember. I always beat myself down because of that. You know, stuff like mom's birthday. Yes. You know, like dad's birthday, my sister's birthday. Then there's Lexi. I always beat myself down and think, you know, if I have to remember these things as much. There's like 5 more people, so clearly, it should be. They're not things to try not to forget, as they are. You know, you don't get many memories within the year. But the ones that you see every single day and are there for you. You know?
Yes.
I don't care what it is that you are going through, but these are things that are critical. But we are only human.
Yes.
We do make mistakes, but once that mistake has been done, they are always, of course, for you to correct them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Another question I wanted to ask you: who expresses themselves more? Who's more expressive about how they feel? Let's start with Sheila. What's your answer? Is it you or is it Ashley?
It's Ashley.
Okay.
Because I don't know. See, I'm quite talkative, so I do think I'm quite expressive. But then he kind of like tunes in a deeper level expression to me. So sometimes
Yeah.
I might not necessarily be thinking anything, but if I'm like quiet, I should be like, "What are you thinking?" And then I'll be like, "Nothing." And then he'll be like, "What are you thinking?" And then I'll start saying something that I know I was thinking, but I hadn't thought that I was thinking it. If you get what I mean.
Yes,
So
yes.
in that sense, he kind of triggers me to actually speak sometimes, even when I'm quiet or I'm not speaking. He'll kind of get me to speak. And if we're having conversations or if we start a story, Ashley will get really expressive, and then his story will have like sub stories and sub stories. So he's quite more of an expressive person in terms of he says how he feels, or if he's telling a story, he's very descriptive and it's very like in detail. Whereas I can be quite rushy with it because I'm trying to say too many things at the same time.
Yes.
So sometimes I don't know if that makes me less expressive, but I do think he is more expressive, 100%. I do think he's more vocal.
Okay. What do you think, Ashley?
No, for me personally, I think she is right in it, because then I take my work attitude in terms of how I do some of my things
Yes.
into then my normal living, which can be a bit difficulty. And I think it's something that I've seen. It's not difficulty, but I think I always like to. You find out more. I think sometimes I can repeat myself 5 times to you.
Yes.
But if I don't feel that you've understood me,
You keep saying it.
I'm gonna tell you in 6 different ways.
Oh, that's
So-
interesting.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you in 6 different ways.
Yes.
But if I feel that I've done that and you still don't get it, I don't get offended in any way.
Yes.
No, but it's just I learned to then try for me to then understand my
Yes.
partner more or a friend more. I always like feedback within any job that I go to. Besides asking for a salary, I always say within anything that you do, I always want feedback regardless. If I don't get feedback, that. Those are one of the things that are critical to me, because when I do things, sometimes I get people that that can turn around and say, "Oh my God, it's the same thing as at the side job." And I get people that can comment on something that I've done, but I didn't even know that I was even doing it right. So, but it's one of those things I do appreciate feedback in most things I do for.
Yes.
That's what betters me. I never want to stand and just say I know everything kind of thing. Plus, I listen to a lot of motivational speakers as well, so that stuff teaches me in terms of how to understand people more. So it's stuff that I don't really understand about the world.
Yes.
I tend to go into.
Yes. You see, this is why I was so looking forward to this interview, because my show is about emotional intelligence. And one of the main things on emotional intelligence is the way you can be aware of yourself. Not only that, but where you can be aware of yourself to a level where you can sort of reflect and manage the way you feel. Because in life, you can only control yourself.
100%,
You can't control the other person.
No, you can't.
So if you deal with yourself, that can have an impact on the other person, and or that will help you manage the other person, which is something very difficult in life. But for some reason, from the little that I know about you two, I knew that our audience would have a lot to learn from you, because just from you saying what you're saying, you're showing me highest levels of emotional intelligence, sense of reflection, sense of awareness, self-awareness, how you manage other people. I'm also seeing all the 5 love languages, which is going to take me to the main part of this interview. The main 5 love languages that we've been singing about. The first one, I think Sheila sort of mentioned it. One of them is acts of service. You were all talking about the fact that you cook for each other, you serve each other, you do things for each other. That's one of the love languages. And it's always important to communicate that. And then the second one is quality time. Now, quality time is not just about watching TV together or being on a holiday and each one of you is on Snapchat or you're doing whatever you're doing. But it's when you put your phones away and then you give each other 100% attention.
Mm-hmm.
You take time to engage with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's quality time. I
Yes.
picked that
Yes.
from both of you, from the interview we've had. Then the next one is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who, because that's going to be your task to do. But I noticed a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
All of you like to be told
Mm-hmm.
whether you're doing well
Mm-hmm.
or whether you're not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay with that.
Yes.
All of you, right from when you met each other,
Mm-hmm.
you were telling each other why you're together,
Mm-hmm.
complimenting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're, say, going for a party or you're going somewhere together, just being told, you look very beautiful, my wife, or you look so handsome, my husband or my partner. You did that at some point when you were talking about why you fell in love with Ashley. You were like, of course he's handsome. That's words of affirmation.
Yes.
So if Ashley's language,
Mm-hmm.
primary language,
Mhm.
is words of affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
that means you're speaking that language.
Mhm.
Well done.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth one is receiving gifts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I listened very carefully when you were talking about it.
it.
The last one is physical touch. We didn't touch on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's that physical contact.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, when they're angry,
Mm-hmm.
they prefer just a simple hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or when you're walking together,
Mm-hmm.
they prefer their partner to show that they're proud to
Yes.
be, your spouse or
Yes.
your partner.
Yes.
And they don't mind you holding each other's hands.
Yes.
I noticed that with Harry and Meghan a
Mhm.
lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Meghan is always like this to Harry.
Yes.
Or Harry is always like putting his hand on Meghan somehow.
Yes.
But it's always nice. I mean,
Yes.
it shows that that's their primary love language.
Yes.
And they sort of enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
both of them.
Yes.
So those are the 5. Okay.
Wow.
Now, the final task. There's a primary love language. That's
Okay.
your most important one.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of you, or at least amongst yourselves,
Mm-hmm.
should have at least the primary, which is the most important,
Mm-hmm.
and the secondary,
Mm-hmm.
which is another one, which is also important.
Mm-hmm.
So once you know each other's too,
Mm-hmm.
then it means you can speak that language and
Mhm.
you can sort of strengthen your relationship
Mm-hmm.
and you can sort of sustain it for years because no one is having to wonder what the other person is thinking or whatever it is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm gonna. Who wants to start? Your primary and your secondary.
Go on. Yeah, I need to think about it.
Okay.
There's so many, but yeah.
Okay, let's go.
What's your primary love language? Which one out of the 5?
My primary
No,
is-
actually, let's do it the other way around.
Okay.
What's Sheila's primary love language?
Oh, okay.
And what's her secondary love language? And
Oh,
then
for
you
him
will
to
confirm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, from
Yes.
that example.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
From the 5 that she gave, which one is my primary and which one is my secondary?
Yeah.
Which of the 5 do I value the most?
Yeah, so it's these ones. So if you think actually this relationship would die if you
stop doing that
yeah,
thing.
if he forgets my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know some relationships have actually died
Wow.
from someone breaking the... Haven't you heard of people saying, no, how can you forget my birthday? You can't do that. I don't want
What,
you
just
anymore.
on just the one occasion and then it's over?
Or maybe on several occasions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's like
That's
what's
the
affecting
make or
them.
break. Yeah, 100%. I understand.
So
No,
I'm
it's true.
looking. I want you to give me
Same.
or to give us Ashley's primary and secondary.
I think the thing is, I feel like we do all of these things equally. There
Yeah.
there isn't necessarily
I picked
one
all
that
of
we
them.
do more than the other.
Yeah.
But I think words of affirmation. I don't know if that's his love language or that's my love language, and I just display it more to him.
You can
So,
have you
so
can
yeah.
have the same. That's even better.
yeah, words of
Because it means you're
affirmation.
compatible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
words of affirmation. Just encouraging each other. You know, if we're working, we always like to encourage each other. Yeah, babe, how's work going? Keep
Mhm.
going. We're doing fine. Oh, we finished soon.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we always like encourage each other, push each
Yes.
other, and he likes, you know, even if we're having long days, I'll be like, no, don't worry, babe, you'll be finished work soon. I know you're doing well and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So
Yes.
yeah, I think communication and just giving each other like an
Key.
uplifting
Yes.
is like one of the main things.
Mhm.
And then I'd say acts of
Second.
service.
Oh.
Acts of service will probably
Yeah.
be the second one because We do always like to do things for each other. So if he does something for me, I automatically feel like I've got to do something for him, even though that's not necessarily how it has to be. But I think both of us just feel like, oh, I have to do something for you because you did something for me. Like, I just feel like I want to do something for you.
Yes.
So if he cooks breakfast, I'll feel like I want to make lunch. If he makes a cup of coffee, or makes me like a drink, I'll have to make him a cup of coffee. Like, it's just one of those things where if we just do something, the other one feels like they have to do something back. So I think both of us, we live off acts of service. Like, we're never like just leave that person to it, or he'll be fine. Whatever he's doing, he'll finish it. Like, if I see him doing something, I'm like automatically like, oh, can I help you? And similar with me, if I'm doing something, he'll always be like, oh, can I help you? So we're always like fighting each other to do things for each other, because we just don't always want to feel like we don't always want one person to feel like they do more than the other. I think we both feel that, but we both equally are there for each other. Yes. So we always want to be like making sure that we're making each other as happy as each other can be.
We are independent within our own ways, but then in terms of independence, of actually building something together, this is the way. Of course, we've learned for us to then work together. Okay, as much as I can do everything myself, but then sometimes you gotta let someone just care for you, and just ask you the question that you know the answer to already. You gotta get someone that answers you. Yes. Like, are you okay? No, it's fine. Listen, like, have you got socks? Okay. Have you got?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Or like, if it's not done that way, or someone does not understand it that way, more time they'll just go and just iron the socks for you, and just have them ready. For they know that if I ask him, he's gonna be like,
it's okay.
He's gonna be like, it's okay. And which is half of the time, there's certain things I can't really explain in that way, but. I can't explain certain things that happen. For things just happen and it just grows and it grows. But I think the main key is to in relationships and stuff like that. The main key is if you want for anything to go well for you, and what you want, the minute that you place your eyes within someone, and whatever for so long, of course, once you've seen the red flags and the green flags and stuff like that. Because see whatever that it is that you can handle and whatever that you can work with, and there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. My advice is manifest what you then want for you to see. Of course, if you want the perfect husband, you make the perfect husband from you manifesting and talking to your person. As you manifesting, you're actually acting accordingly. You're not shouting. Or he's not shouting at you and saying, "Oh, you gotta do this," or you gotta. It's one of them where you need for you to put yourself in a level to get that person, for them to understand you a bit more, or for them to change into a way. Try find a way for you, or you understand them a bit more. Why did it start? Why did it happen? And stuff like that. Be their friend. Be their friend. Be their homie. Then that way you then understand. Then you can then give like your to where whenever you then speak your opinion, it's not gonna offend anyone. You're gonna laugh at something that is very serious. You're gonna take it as a joke, and you're gonna keep it moving from there. But you kind of broke that bone, because maybe that person, they never had no one for them to speak to about that thing. But now the fact that you've just like this and you tried to understand them. Then vibe and that, but then it takes a lot of time. But that's why I say to manifest a relationship that you want, and 100% you will get it, because it blocks out the other stuff that you can you can think for your you can't control your mind, but you can focus on what you want for you to see, because of course if you don't do that, then you can let loose, and you end up thinking the what ifs, to where within a relationship you should never have what if. You should know as an individual what you want, and you can avoid certain things in terms of how you're thinking, and of course if you think that it's lacking somewhere, it's something that can be avoided in terms of you just speaking to your partner. Be a free spirit. That's what I would say in it, because that's one thing that I did see with Sheila. She's a free spirit. She's a free spirit. She's just
keeps it real.
What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? So, and that's just with with me as well, to where
Yes.
I don't ever need for me to lie about going to see my friends
Yeah.
or like me going to see my work. Yeah, I don't need to lie about
Yes.
things. And
Yeah.
you know, it's the stage to where if I say that I'm gonna do something, and even if it's something that's stupid, like, oh babe, I'm just gonna go to the shop and just gonna like a kind of code. Babe, why are you going to the shop for you to do that?
Yeah.
But it's one of them. She let it, but she'll still be worried. But you know, but she wouldn't sit down and have that conversation
Yeah.
another day. But you know, so there's that kind of freeness to where,
Yes.
of course, you know, you still letting someone be themselves, but
Yes.
still talking about it within the time that is
In a
appropriate.
respectful way. Yeah.
And that's within every single thing. And
Yeah.
you know, then that way there's no secrets. I think we even speak about deep stuff about the past.
Yeah.
To where it's just so that, because I think as you grow up and as you move on, you might bump into people that were then within your past. But if everything was laid down within the ground, then there's nothing for him to come to and attack
Yes.
you for. You have explained every single thing.
Yeah.
Then from there on, I have a peace of mind now. You know, I did. There's nothing for me to hide. So
Yeah.
this is do it. That's why even when we were saying about the interview, you can say anything.
Yes.
There's nothing to hide for what you see, and that's just that goes
Yeah.
for anyone out there. What you see
Is what you
is
get.
just what you get. I can't be any better or any whatever.
Yeah.
What you see is what you
get.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
just what you get.
Oh,
you know?
thank you very much. Now, just to recap, Sheila, can you tell us what you've enjoyed about this and what you think our viewers or our listeners would learn from this, or what you've learned from this interview? I've learned a lot from you too about the love languages and about the different dialects within those languages.
No.
So what would you say about that? As in, what have you learned about this?
I think what's been interesting is obviously you extracting what are the love languages from the things that we already do that we've not realized that that's what we're actually doing. We're expressing a language to each other. So I think it will make us more aware. I think because we've just kind of got on with life and lived it, we've never really actually said like, what is your love language? We've just kind of like done things and seen what's got the best reaction. But because we've not had anything that's got a negative reaction, we've never really established. So I think one thing that I guess we can go away and do is actually discuss, like, you know, from the 5 love languages, what do you generally like the most out of all the things? Because we might do everything equally, but there might be something where you generally feel like, oh, you know, if Sheila does this for me, I'll be over the moon. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's been nice to actually know what are the 5 love languages so that we can, you know, tune into which one is like you say, if you know what your partner likes the most, that should sustain you through anything in marriage, because you know that if you go through a difficult situation, if you're going through grief, even if that person is grieving for a family member, you know, it might not always be appropriate, but you at least know that, you know, if I can do this for them at that time, that's what they'll appreciate. That's what will probably be helping them through the grief. So, you know, even though things might be sweet and rosy now, but there's certain things in life that will come that you need to know how your partner wishes to be loved or wishes to be handled in that situation, so that you know how to be appropriate, because you might behave in a way that's inappropriate. You might think they don't mind because you know each other so well, but in fact, at that moment in time, in that situation, it's not what they need. So it's good to have those conversations. It's good to actually know that this is what Ashley likes. This is what he really prioritizes on top of everything. This is the most important thing that he loves in terms of love language. So it's been interesting and great to know. And a bit of homework.
Thank you very much. Ashley, have you got anything to say before we go, or anything just to recap, or what you've enjoyed about this, or what you've taken away from this?
No, it's definitely, I think, the 5 languages. I mean, I think I've learned that I think sometimes there are things that we do, but then we don't really know what they actually titled as. But of course, that's definitely I would like to actually to go over those 5 that you've mentioned in detail and actually understand our actual actions. For I think right now, I think we are a mixture of of all of them. But of course, to actually know for our things in terms of moving, I mean, we do move forward anyway. But to just strong things, there's always space for improvement. As I've said, they are the 5 things that, you know, I'm definitely going to sit down more time to take a picture of what you had on there.
Oh, that's nice. Don't worry though.
They are these I mean, even the acts of good.
Extra
When I
service,
did, the acts of service.
Yeah.
That's like every day. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
it happens
yet
that
you
way
don't
or this
realize
way.
Yeah, we
you're
don't
using
realize,
that
I mean,
language
some-
to each other. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the most questions, for example, which is because we both were at home, of course. So, one of the things that we ask every single day, for this one, shout out to everything. Hey, what are we eating tonight? This is the reason it got up and to where we then there's a cooking, then there's breakfast, then there's that to where there's different things to it. They are different things that then happen to it. They're actually normal, but then we treat it as normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, another places,
Yeah,
another
yeah,
households,
nah,
they probably
so-
don't have those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, but then to actually sit down and talk about it, it's funny how you don't automatically go for that because you're kind of weary and you think it's little.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually so. There are things out.
Yeah, I think COVID has definitely helped because
100%.
you know, obviously, if we were still in normal times, we wouldn't have spent as much time together as we spent because we would have been going about our lives and maybe we'd only see each other on the weekends if then. But because of COVID and working from home, we've managed to spend time at each other's houses and stuff, and you know, it's helped us to. Not necessarily live like we're married, but in a way live like we're married to really understand that if we're going to go forward with this, could I actually tolerate you, you know, the next day and the day after that, and you know, can I actually put up with you, like, you know, how do you behave in the evening, how do you behave in the morning or whatever, because I understand obviously in our culture those things are not encouraged, but I think that's also what's breaking a lot of young couples because it's the idea of marriage which is nice, but then the reality of it isn't so nice. And in fact, when you've done the wedding and you've done the traditional, you've done all of this, and now you're just together in the house, can you actually tolerate each other? Like, or by day 7, are you actually thinking, what is this person? So exactly. So I think COVID has helped us to, you know, break away slightly from the tradition, but for our own personal benefit, just to really know that whether we could last, you know, 50, 60 years in this situation, or are we going to actually get annoyed with each other at some point soon? So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My next postcard is going to be a podcast.
We've been talking too much.
So I'm sure there's a few.
It's going to be going into detail about the 5 love languages. So look out for it.
Okay.
It's going to be very interesting and engaging.
Okay.
So
we look forward to
today
your show,
was just an introductory to
No, just say no, 100%.
Yes, but thank you so much.
you.
I really enjoyed having this interview with you.
And thank you for your knowledge that you're bringing, and hopefully, you know, all your other sessions will be educational and bring different people. And we look forward to the whole project that you started.
Wow. That was fantastic. I personally enjoyed having that interview with the Tiribhoos. Join us next time where we will be developing on the love languages. We will be looking at love languages in parenting. We'll also look at how God speaks love languages. My name is Getes from the Emotional Intelligence Lift As You Rise show. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.